Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. There's plenty of me talking on the show this week. Don't turn off now. Do keep listening. I've scoured the internet to find loads of travel tips and hints which I believe will help you with your holidays this summer. Travel news includes a story about, it includes the changes in British Airways short-haul flight classes. And also there'll be news of a competition for a night stay in Geneva. I've entered myself. Don't worry, there's 1,001 night stays to go round. I'll be doing the details about that later. And the travel tips I'll be sharing are include the 21 people that annoy us at airports or on airplanes, travel etiquette, or some of it, and also the latest UK government information on travelling to Greece for a short stay and the EHIC card. But first, roaming charges in the European Union. I remember my second ever travel conference as a travel agent. I was sitting by the pool for 3 days when I wasn't doing the conferencing, checking my emails, making phone calls, looking at the web. It cost me over £100 those 3 days because I just didn't realise about charges. I was young, I was stupid, I was naive. But that sort of shock when you get your bill should be a thing of the past, providing you stay in the EU country even, because since 2007 the European Union has been working with the telephone providers around the 28 member states to reduce the costs of roaming and to help keep everybody a cheaper holiday when they use their mobile phone, including data. But it's all well and good to talk about roaming charges that have come down. What if you don't know what roaming means? Well, I spoke to Adam at the UK European Consumer Centre to find out what has happened about these charges, and we're going to start off by just explaining what roaming is.
Roaming is when you're using your phone abroad, so it actually does count for minutes, text and data. So it's basically when you're using your phone abroad.
So these reductions includes data as well?
The reductions do include data as well, yes.
Why did this happen?
It's all really to get a more connected continent, I think is how they have worded it. It's basically so that people don't feel afraid to use their phones while they're abroad, and it encourages things like travel and means that people can use all sorts of services while travelling.
You said it's taken since 2007. Why did it take this long?
I think it's in relative terms. When you think there's 28 member states that have to change their legislation. I mean, I would say in relative terms of legislation, it hasn't taken that long. Mm-hmm. But I mean, because there's a lot of countries that have to get their legislation in order. The phone companies, have to be given a chance to basically bring it all down themselves as well. But it can take time. Legislation being put through and approved.
Okay. It's difficult to say because people have different contracts, but how much roughly will people be saving?
I do have actually some figures for that. I mean, in 2007, the average sort of price for a phone call would be €1.63, and as of 2015, that's gone down to 0.19, so 19 cents per minute. So, and then by 2017, it's going to be exactly the same as what it would cost you in the country that you live in.
That's quite a saving, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
So does this cover all the EU countries?
It does cover all the EU member states, yes. It comes out from the EU and has to be, like I say, put into each country's national law.
There's a lot of talk, obviously, about the referendum coming up. What would happen if we leave the EU? Would it still be in place, or does anybody know?
Well, I think it's a case of no one really knows. I think the UK, so in the scenario that the UK were to leave, the UK could decide to keep similar legislation. But it also could go the other way and mean that the phone companies are not legally obliged to offer, the same prices when people go abroad. The phone companies, for the point of customer service, could decide to keep it because it keeps customers happy. But ultimately, I think people can't be too sure either way. unfortunately.
Oh, one of life's little mysteries then, I guess.
Absolutely.
So how can we find out more about consumer travel advice for those who are travelling to the EU from the UK?
Well, consumers can look on our websites. It's www.ukecc.net. But there are a lot of other EU travel websites, and actually I think if consumers, even places like the local citizens advice bureaus often have leaflets that can give information and help.
Okay, great. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for your time.
No, you're very welcome.
If you've had an absolute shocker of a phone bill when you come back from an EU country, which you didn't realise about the roaming charges, and you feel brave enough to share the story, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show to post what the bill amount was and what happened, if anything, to help reduce the cost. The UK European Consumer Centre also has a very useful app for your mobile phones which has all sorts of consumer advice, not just about travelling but making purchases as well. And I recommend that you get hold of this app. It's really useful, and of course we don't have to worry about roaming because it's all stored online, so you find out about flights delayed, or if you buy something in a shop, download it, know what your rights are. And the website that Adam mentioned will also be listed, as always, at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. Google has launched a mobile-only search tool, and it's imaginatively called Destinations on Google. It's meant to function like a travel agent and help you to narrow down where and when to travel, give you various options of destinations, and also set you some certain parameters such as cost. You do need to use the right format of search term though to get this to work. I've tried it the other way around and it didn't work. So on your mobile, if I said this is a mobile app, that's a mobile system, mobile, go to Google and then search for something like Mexico destinations or Europe destinations. The word destinations is what sets up the new feature. And it will produce some information cards, which it does the top two, then you can press a button and more show up, on various cities presented in order of popularity as determined by search volume and location data. On these cards for each destination you'll find the cheapest week of the year to travel and the average price of flights from your current location. The average cost of a 3-star hotel is also shown, and some travel agents in the UK are getting a bit upset with this and saying it's going to fall foul of UK travel regulations, although in my humble opinion it won't, and I think it's just travel agents in the UK complaining about nothing. But anyway, you'll get some options. You can filter the search by using a small menu above the destination cards, and you can filter by dates, budget, and sometimes by interest. So if you select golf instead of all, the best places to play golf will come up. But unfortunately there is a major omission of this. Food is missing from the filter options. If you click on a month, the cards will show you the most affordable week to travel in that month. When you've decided on your destination, you have two options. You can explore to learn more, or you can plan a trip, which means selecting your dates, flights and hotel. The Explore mode has a selection of recommended itineraries based on popularity among travellers. Google looks at anonymous location data as well as the popular search terms. A plan a trip option is where an algorithm calculates your total cost of the trip, and it adjusts the amount instantly when you decide to change the options. It also adjusts flight options, giving 3 or 4 itineraries up as suggestions, followed by price for the remainder of the suggestions. It isn't perfect yet. It does rely on limited data. To be honest, a travel agent will probably have other options that may suit you more, especially if you don't have a normal mainstream holiday. There does need to be more flexibility with the filters as well. As I already mentioned, food isn't included, otherwise it won't come anywhere near being useful for researching my own trips. But if you have used this Destinations on Google on your phone to book a trip, how did it go? Did you think it was a good experience? You're going to do it again? Please share your experience at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
Hey Dave, it's your round, mate.
Yeah, my throat's drier than the Gobi Desert.
All right. Beer's all round, yeah?
OK, which one of you jokers has got my wallet?
Well, I haven't got it. God, he'll do anything to save a few quid.
Yeah, that's right. He's always had short arms and long pockets.
Seriously, guys, someone's nicked it from my bag.
If you lose your wallet, passport or tickets while you're on holiday, your mates winding you up will be the least of your worries. Keep your valuable stuff locked up safely when you don't need it. And if you're on the beach or by the pool, only take the cash you need.
For more information, go to gov.uk/knowbeforeyougo or follow us on Facebook or Twitter.
You can follow me on Twitter at holiday_hut. Still to come, tips on how to find the safest place to stay in a hotel, travel etiquette, and the latest information from the UK government about the EHIC card. Justaflight.co.uk has identified the parties guilty of spreading annoyance on board planes after carrying out a survey to find the 21 people we hate on flights. They turned their attention to the people who rile other travellers even before the first fasten seatbelt sign is flicked on, and even those who upset you at the airport itself. From people who can't find their passport at vital moments to those determined to make you ill by coughing and sneezing in your direction every 5 minutes, this survey of 5,000 people feels that it has listed the worst offenders. So here they are. 53% of people hate people that are late. Can you skip to the front of the queue because you're going to miss your flight? Of course you can't. Get up early like the rest of us. 48% of people are passport losers. This is quite literally the most important document to have at an airport. So excuse me if I'm a little bit miffed that you can't find it and are holding everybody in the queue up. 47% of people, the joker. Oh, so you thought making a joke about terrorism would be funny, did you? Well, enjoy your visit to airport security. I'll be waving from the plane, so who's laughing now? 44% of people were seat hogs. How wonderfully thoughtless people. One person in a crowded airport taking up 6 seats. Well, you just have to sit on their bags, don't you? 34% of people don't like people who don't understand security. I see there's a lot at Luton Airport. Airport security is not a new feature. You must have known it was coming. It was there last year and the year before that. So why only now are you taking your laptop out of its bag? And when you've gone through the metal detector, do you remember the coins and keys in your pockets? There's plenty of signs all the way along security. You should be prepared and not hold anybody up. 26% of people don't like the megaphone. This is somebody with partial hearing on the plane at 30,000 feet that feel they can't quite hear your phone call. And can you speak up a bit? So, yes, people who shout on the phone. It's bad enough on the train, but on a plane it's even worse. 25% of people that carry